How's it going, bros? In today's video, I'm going to be testing the ASUS ROG Ally in Forza Motorsport. I'm running the game with the latest drivers and bio version available at the time. The VRAM on the Ally is set to 8GB because I was experiencing some crashes. Okay guys, here are the settings I'll be using at 720p. It's basically the default settings the game comes with, which is medium target quality, everything on auto, and FSR off. I'm going to test the game at 15, 18, 25, and 30 watts. Let's start by testing the game at 720p and 15 watts. And as you can see, the game runs pretty good actually. I wasn't expecting 45 plus FPS on 15 watts, to be honest. So far, I'm impressed, and I think that we can move on to 18 watts now. And at 18 watts, the game runs even better as expected, now that we're using more power, but not by much though. Maybe it's the new BIOS or something. And at 18 watts we're getting around 45ish FPS on average. I tested enabling FSR, but the FPS were roughly the same, so I decided to use native rendering instead. And the game looks pretty clean at 720p. Okay guys, now let's bump the power to 25 watts. Well, this is really close to 60 FPS guys. At 25 watts, the Ally averages over 50 FPS. I think those extra watts are worth it if you're playing with the Ally plugged in. I just love the Ally screen. FreeSync is a game changer. I mean, this really feels like if I were playing at 60 FPS. But what about 30 watts? Let's push the Ally to its limits. And well, we are getting a few extra FPS, like 2 extra FPS or so. Is it worth it? Well, if you have the Ally plugged in, then absolutely. You're getting more performance in the end, and sure, from an efficiency point of view it's not worth it, but more FPS is always better. Okay, now moving on to 1080p. The settings are the same as before. The only thing that I changed is the resolution from 720p to 1080p. So let's start with 15 watts again. And well, not bad at all. We're getting over 30 FPS consistently, and sometimes we're even hitting nearly 40 FPS, which is pretty decent, especially if you're playing on battery. So now let's increase the power to 18 watts, and much better than at 15 watts for sure. I think we're getting roughly the same FPS we were getting with 15 watts at 720p. Well, a bit less, we're getting around 39 FPS on average. So yeah, 18 watts 1080p seems like the clear winner if you ask me. But let's move on to 25 watts. Forza seems to scale pretty well on the Ally. We're now getting around 50% more FPS than at 18 watts. And yeah, if you have a power source nearby, definitely go for 25 watts or more. I mean, if battery life isn't a concern, you'll be getting more FPS. And let's finish with 30 watts. And something seems wrong here. We're now getting the same FPS we were getting at 18 watts, and I think we should be getting a slight increase over what we got at 25 watts. I mean, we're using more power, so we should be getting at least more FPS and not less. But yeah, let's forget about it for now. Anyways, what settings are you guys using? Drop a comment below. And well, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching guys, and see you all on the next one.